Hi everybody, I'm Hector Garcia, CPA and amateur software developer. Actually, I'm nothing even close to amateur. I know absolutely nothing about code. However, in this last video that I posted recently called ChatGPT 5 for basic coding, I basically show you how I use ChatGPT to create code, again, that I don't know how to read, that I copy and paste into my browser and I fix something in QuickBooks that was driving me freaking crazy. So that's just one use case of many use cases in which I'm using artificial intelligence to try to solve, let's say, the universe of problems in the accounting profession or the challenges that we have as accountants. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Claude. Claude is just like ChatGPT, very similar. It's ChatGPT's competitor. And I just want to show you the same type of thing, how I'm using Claude to try to fix other problems in accounting. And it's the same thing. I'm going to create code. This time, Claude is a little bit different because Claude allows you to publish apps, so to speak. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to build an app really quick. So the problem I want to solve for this particular scenario is I want to solve the problem of having, let's say, a PDF bank statement, like the one that I have right here on the screen. And I don't happen to have the spreadsheet version of this. And I want to load this into my QuickBooks, but my QuickBooks can't read PDF statements. So I have to convert it into a CSV file. But instead of just copy and pasting this into Claude and saying convert this, I'm going to create an app that everybody can have access. And I'll put the link in the description when this is all done. So you can see how you can drag and drop your own files and it creates the extraction for you. Now, let's be fair. QuickBooks recently released, like if you actually go into QuickBooks Online and you go and upload file, it recently released an option for you to drag and drop that statement in there and it does the conversion for you. Now, this is kind of hit and miss because it's like pretty much new technology. So when QuickBooks can't, I have to use other extraction tools. Perfect example. Right now it says, we found some items that need an expert review. So I can't move forward. I have to wait until whatever happens, this goes into a black hole, somebody's reviewing it and fixing it. So another thing I want to mention is the absolutely gold standard for this has always been an app called MoneyThumb. And that's actually what we use in our practice. Actually, I don't trust the QuickBooks one to work every single time. You just saw the example. And I use MoneyThumb most of the times. And I'll put a link in the description too to do this. Now, unfortunately, this video is going to challenge whether or not MoneyThumb has a business model at all, because I'm literally going to build something similar to MoneyThumb using Claude and make it available public for free within, I don't know, maybe an hour. And with the editing of this video, it might seem less, but it'll probably be less than an hour. So get ready. This is going to be a lot of fun. So I'll go back into Claude and then I'm going to tell it the problem statement. But before doing that, I'm actually going to go into a new chat. And instead of creating a new chat, I'm going to go to this new area called artifacts. Now I do have the paid version of Claude. I think it's like $20 a month. And I don't think the free version has access to this. So I'm doing it through this area called artifacts. And then I'm going to click here. It says new artifact. Again, it's going to be just like Claude, but you have to, it's much better that you go through artifacts so it knows off the bat that you're going to be using this. So I'm going to click this one. I'm going to call it apps and websites. And then it's going to start a chat process. So it looks just like a regular chat, but it knows off the bat that we're trying to build an app. So now I'm going to give it the instructions. So I want to build an app that can convert PDF bank statements or credit card statements into CSV files to import into QuickBooks or other accounting software. Pretty simple. Now I want to take it one step further, and this is kind of something you have to know, and this takes practice, is you can also tell it that the app itself needs to use AI. So I'm not building just a static app. It's going to be a dynamic app that can use AI. So I'm going to say, make sure the app uses Claude API to do the conversions. to do the, let's call it OCR, which is the optical character recognition, OCR and conversion. And then I'm going to hit send. So we started simple, basically a simple prompt. It's going to start its process. And now I'm going to do several iterations. I kind of show you back and forth how I continue to, let's say, add updates to the software itself. So here's the process is basically telling you this is what I'm going to build. So core features, file upload, so you can click and drag PDF statements. A cloud-powered processing means you'll use the Claude API. Claude API means the app itself will continue to have access to AI. Smart data extraction, identify dates, descriptions, amounts, and transaction types. Perfect. CSV export generates CSV formatted for QuickBooks import. Preview and validation, show extracted data. Perfect. I think this is pretty good. So it's pretty much asking you, does this align to your vision? Do you want to add something else? So let's do version 1, and then I'll show you how I'll continue to iterate. And then at the end, we'll kind of test it once it's completely done. So we're going to say yes. Okay. And at this point, you literally just wait. Okay. It's going to draft the code for you. And as soon as it's done, you're going to see this little publish button here turn black. So you'll be able to click publish and you'll be able to preview it. Okay, that took exactly 2 minutes actually. So I build the code and then it's previewing it for me. So I can actually see here on the right hand side what the app looks like. Now I can switch here between preview mode and code mode. So if I understood what the code meant, I could probably read it and make corrections or learn. I mean, that's probably something I should be doing, try to learn some code. I would probably be a lot better at doing this. But at this point, I don't think I need to. You'll see why. There's a couple buttons here like copy. So if you're going to copy and paste this into some software, download the code into TXT. But this is the real cool part, publish. So I'm going to click publish, and then I'm going to click on publish and copy link. So I'm not going to give you access to this one yet. I'm actually going to wait until I complete the video, and I'm going to give you access to the one that I actually have completed. Now, I don't know how long this link remains public for, but I think shortly after watching this video, you'll be able to literally convert some PDF statements yourself and even solve the problems that you need for today. So let's open up, let's come in here, let's paste, and let's go. Okay, so here's my app up and running. I literally just copy and pasted that link into the browser. This is the public facing app. So anyone that goes into this link, this is exactly what they will see. Now, a quick note, once you start using it, when you upload a statement or whatever, once you start interacting with it, it will ask you do need a Claude account, at least a free, like you can have a free account. Like you won't ask you for a credit card or anything like that. You need to have at least a free Claude account to be able to interact with the published artifact. So without an account, you'll be able to look at it, but to actually interact with it, especially because it has that conversion tool that goes and uses AI, it's going to ask you to have a Claude account. So just create a free one if you want to test this. In this particular case, there's no paywall or anything like that. This is essentially a free app. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag the statement in there. And then basically it shows me the first one. Now, I don't know what the code wrote, so I'm not sure what the logic is. We're actually experiencing the logic live. And logic is, how the software behaves when things happen. So I have to make the assumption that if there is, in fact, more uploads, it'll probably process them all separately. So, I mean, that's something we can test in a little bit. So I'm going to click on extract data. That seems like the next logical thing to do. I'm going to click processing, and I'm literally just going to wait. I won't edit the video, just so you see exactly how long it takes to process this specific statement. Okay, there you go. That was an unedited version of that extraction. Now, for some context, I'm going to go ahead and pull the PDF statement and show it to you one more time. Here we go. So here, so it's got, obviously it's a fake statement, right? Not a real bank account, but we got beginning balances, ending balances. We have a couple of deposits. We have a couple of withdrawals. We have some check images, and I'm actually going to show you how to interact with all the moving parts in here. This is what's going to make this video super interesting. And again, Claude's amazing, but the operator is really the most important thing. The person That's the oracle, right? The person that has the ideas, that tells the AI what to do. I'm just showing you what the PDF looks like, so you have a general idea what the information is, okay? So let's drag this out to the right, to the other monitor, and let's take a look at the extraction. So this started by giving me some basic information. So we got bank Chase, last 4 digits of the bank account number, a period, right? This is January. And here are the extractions. So it has the date, and interestingly enough, allows you to change the date. Okay, I actually didn't tell the logic you could do that, but it did. Then there is a description, which I can change. There's amount, which looks like I could tweak. That's interesting. And then there's type debit credit, and then there's category transfer. So maybe I don't need type and category. So this is where we start doing some iterations, right? The other thing is I want to know is I actually want to know the total here in the bottom. And I also want to know, and I'll go back to the statement here, I would like to know that the extraction is accurate. So I want the total to be added to the beginning balance and have it checked to see if the ending balance matches. So I'm going to add all this additional logic to sort of reconcile the page, so to speak, during the extraction. So let me go back into the code. So we'll go back into the code here, and then we're going to say we're going to make some changes, right? So this here's back into the chat. So I'm going to say, I need to make some changes, comma. First thing is I want a summary of beginning balance, ending balance, and net change, comma. At the end of the total amounts, I want to see the total added up. And I also want to see logic that makes sure that the beginning balances plus the net change based on the amounts that were extracted matches the ending balance, just to make sure that it reconciles, period. Also, remove the transaction type and the debit credit column. I don't need that. I only need the 3 columns: dates, description, and amount. Also, in the case that there are transaction numbers or check numbers, add a separate column for those check numbers and make sure that the check lines are also being put in there. And also, one more thing, if there are check images in the bank statement, find the check image that matches a check number, try to extract the payee and the memo to put it in the description line in the main app. So notice I just talked, like literally just turn on my microphone and talk. Like this wasn't as formal as the first time. First time I was very formal, the first set of instructions. Now I'm just like talking in like plain English. I'm not even sure if I'm using commas and periods correctly. So once you submit that, what you see live, and this is the cool thing about Claude, is on the left side, you have your live chat. This is where you interact with the artificial intelligence. On the right side, you're actually seeing it on the fly, make adjustments to the code right in front of you and previewing it and just kind of going back and forth. So at this point, you just wait, right? And this only takes a couple of minutes. So I will edit the video and get to the end. Okay, so that finished. And one thing to notice is this is on version 7. So actually, it went through multiple iterations. Like it kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, keep checking the code, and it's at version 7. So I literally just waited, and that was, I think it was less than a minute, to be honest with you, maybe a minute and a half. Then when it's done, it gives you a summary and it tells you what it did. So I added, beginning, ending balances, net change, auto reconciling logic, visual indicators if I'm off, color-coded summary for green or red, and I removed a couple of columns and enhanced, the whole check number thing. So it just gives me a summary, and that should be good enough. So now I'm going to click publish, publish and copy link, and then it's going to give me a new link, entirely different link, and a link. I'm just going to copy and paste this into my browser, and it's going to go to the new version of the app. Now the interface hasn't changed. Because I haven't told it to change the interface. What should change in theory is the data that gets extracted. So let's click and drag my statement there one more time and click on extract data, and we wait for that to finish processing. Now again, I'm not going to edit this portion. That way you know exactly how long it takes. That way it's just realistic, right? So when you go out and test the app, it doesn't seem unrealistic. And again, this is a customer world global facing app that I developed is out there for free. Now let's see what it did. So it's got 17 transactions. It's got beginning balance, ending balance. It's got the net change, and it says it's balanced. So that's kind of how you double check and triple check that that the data is correct. Okay, so nothing else changed. It looks like there's a new column for check numbers, and there's 3 of these have check numbers. But this is the beautiful part. This is kind of cool. Look, it actually extracted the data that's on the checks. That should blow your mind. Okay, that really should blow your mind. Is it perfect? Probably not. This particular case seems kind of perfect. So it literally went, it literally went in there and read the checks and put the money. I mean, put the information both in the memo and in the name of the payee in the line. Now, of course, if this was handwritten chicken scratch from your business clients where nobody can understand. I mean, if a human can't understand it, AI won't understand it. So this is obviously kind of perfect because it's typed in. But it gives you, I mean, it's already more powerful than the tools that are out there. So not even QuickBooks extraction tool can do that, or MoneyThumb, or any of the other things that are out there. But I did that because I told AI to do that. That's actually really awesome. Now, a couple things, again, interface things, like I can't sort. Okay, I would love to sort. I would love to be able to resize the table. Okay, so that's actually, that could be good. So now, again, we're going to iterate in more features. So we're going to go back into our chat and then go back and add more features to this. So I have a couple more features that I want, comma. 1, I want to be able to move the columns so I can put them in any order that I want, comma. I also want to be able to click on the header and it toggle between ascending and descending order so I can sort by any of the headers that I want. I also want a control tool in the top where I can change the font size. That way I can see a lot more of the information if I want to. So maybe we can go from 100% to 50% and then up to 200%. So with that control, I can resize the font of the output on the table, period. We'll stop there. And then I'm going to add one more feature here. I just wanted to give myself a chance to breathe. The other feature is going to be, I want you to add a button called Magic AI Payee Cleaner. And what this will do is, once I press that button, it will use Claude API to read the payee names of all the descriptions and try to get the cleanest version of the payee so I don't have a bunch of extra information I don't need in that description line, distill that for me, and create a separate column that is for me to see that magic cleanup payee name. So essentially, once I click on the button, it will add that additional line. Okay, so I'm going to put here column because I didn't meant line. And I say, and okay, so I made a couple corrections because I'm just typing to this thing, and English is my second language, so sometimes the dictation is not perfect. So yeah, so I added a couple more of the feature requests, and then again another waiting game. We'll see how many versions it goes through as it iterates. I will edit this part and get straight to the point where we're going to publish the app and test it. Okay, there we go. So now it's up to version 14. Again, it kept trying all these different versions, iterations, and then it gives me a summary here of what it did. So I'm actually very giddy and excited to see what this is going to look like. By the way, before doing this video, I was testing this, and I spent maybe 2 hours, and I went down the rabbit hole, and I built so many features to this thing. And at the end, I was like, man, I should have recorded this thing. This is such cool content. It's just conceptually, it just blows my mind that 10 years ago, this was my idea. We need something to convert PDF statements to CSVs. And I went out there to different software developers to get different quotes. And I got quotes anywhere between $100,000 to $500,000 to develop something like this. And at the end, I just wasn't very excited about it. And then I saw MoneyThumb and I saw other software that did that. I'm like, you know what? Somebody else is fixing this problem. But today, in an hour, I'm solving this problem with AI with a $20 subscription to Claude I mean, it should be mind blowing to everybody watching this, not just to me. How incredible just the future is going to be, where ordinary people like me that are not developers will fix the world's problems through AI building software. So let's click on publish, go to publish and copy link. So I'm going to go into a new browser, paste. So we got a new browser one more time. And then I'm going to go ahead and click and drag the file into this. Okay, there we go. I'm going to click on extracting data, and I'll just wait for that to finish. It might take a little longer. Again, we're adding more layers of code to this, but it just won't be a lot more. And again, I'm building a free app, right? I'm building an app that nobody has to pay for anything. I'm already paying $20 a month for Claude, but I'm going to make this app public so everybody can use. So here we go. We got our size. So look, let's see what happens if I change this to 100. Okay, beautiful. This works great. So I got all my fonts here. Perfect. So I could change my fonts based on this. Okay, great. Now we have, can I click and drag these? Okay, look at this. Oh my God. I'm about to have, I don't contain myself. The excitement is just incredible. I didn't tell it I wanted to resize the columns. That's probably something I would have done, but this is so cool that I can change the, where the columns go. Now let's look at the sorting. The sorting works. Beautiful. Sorting works. Sorting works. Can't ask for anything else. This is great. Amazing. Okay. So now let's see this thing called the Magic AI Cleaner. Let's click on that. And it says cleaning. And then again, my expectation is for it to create another set of, okay, here we go. So for example, let me make the font a little bit smaller so I can read a little more. So the original page said card purchase, Aria Hotel, Las Vegas. It cleaned it to Aria Hotel. This one said card purchase with cashback, Publix, and then some other stuff. Publix only. Let's see another one. Online transfer, whatever. It did online transfer. Here we go. This is actually pretty cool. This one doesn't say Verizon Wireless. It says VZWRLSS, and it figured out this. It resolved it with artificial intelligence that it was Verizon Wireless. And here we got wire in from ABC Enterprise Ltd London. It took away London. It took wire. Just has the cleaned up version of the payee. So then naturally, what would be the last step? I would go to download CSV. Okay, well that part broke. Let's see. Okay. So this is part of the iteration thing. So when I click on download CSV, it breaks. So let's go back in here and say two things. While I was testing the app, when I went to download the CSV, it broke. So first check the code to see if there's a way for you to do it, maybe using the blob method, period. And quick note, I've learned through iterations of this that the blob method is a code for just download the CSV file. So we'll see, but I'm gonna add one more backstop. In case I can't, can you add a copy button so I can copy the whole table into the clipboard, so I can just copy and paste into my own Excel or Google Sheets on my own in case I can't get the CSV file. Okay, let's just correct a couple of things to avoid confusion. And I'm going to add one more thing. And also, I want to be able to resize the columns. And when I resize one column, the other columns proportionally resize to fit 100% of the width of my workable space in the table. So in any case, I'll resize one column, all the other ones proportionally expand or collapse to make sure that one column I'm resizing, it doesn't mess up the integrity of the table. Okay, just making a couple of corrections here, and then send that new feedback. So again, the troubleshooting is part of the process, right? Like if you ever met a developer, or if a developer watches this, they'll tell me, yes, Hector, that's normal, right? Something will break, you got to go back and fix it. But the point is, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to go back in the code and figure out what broke. So I'm giving it instructions for it to figure out what broke. And again, this is not perfect. Like if I wanted to make a commercial application for this, I would go to a developer and say, hey, by the way, I got this thing half built. Could you put this in a robust server where I can, put a paywall on it and that sort of thing. That's going to be a lot less than $100,000 or $500,000 or whatever these other people quoted me 10 years ago to build this thing. I built it on my own, and I'm the one that played with it. I'm the one that gave it the preferences. If you work with a developer today and you say, hey, I want a button that does this, okay, it might take a month for the button to show up. Here, within minutes, the button is showing up. So I can do quick iterations. And again, realistically speaking, you will need a human developer to put the finishing touches. However, there might be a future where Claude looks at this, maybe they'll look at my video and go, wow, this is an opportunity here. Maybe we can, the next level of this, of artifacts, is that, a Claude will turn this into a commercial process where it allows creators like me to create actual apps and be able to charge for it. And maybe Claude takes a piece of the business. I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm just kind of thinking out loud and fantasizing about, a world where, this is what I do for a living. I build apps with AI. Would be pretty awesome. So here we go. It tells me the summary of what it did. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to click on publish and then click on publish, open up a new browser screen, paste that. Let's bring the PDF again. There we go. Extract data. We'll wait for that to finish. Okay, there we go. Data extracted. Now we got copy table. That was the new feature now we have copy table. This is the new feature that I asked for. We still have all of our other features. Here's the extraction. Can I resize? Gives me the icon to resize. So I probably need to iterate a little bit more. So the resizing icon is there, but it's like I'm clicking and dragging, and that is not working. So we'll have it do that. But let's see if the download CSV works. If it gives me an error, okay, there we go. Artifacts created. Okay, whatever. Let's go to download file. So now it worked. Now it gave me the extraction. So let's take a look at this extraction. Let me bring this over to here and do a zoom so you can see the information. Here's the data that was extracted. Look at that. All my data is extracted. One thing that I don't have the cleaned up payee. Let me see if that works. So let's go ahead and close that. Let's clean up the payee and let's see if this version, once it cleans up, which adds that extra cleaned up column. Let's see if I download the CSV, it gives me that additional column. So it should be the logic. Okay, here we go. It did. So it understood its assignment. So let's go to 200% and let's let's grab this, and maybe I'll delete the original description and just use the pay name, and there we go. Okay. And so then this is something that I could use to import into QuickBooks or my accounting software, or do accounting in Excel, whatever on your own. Let's test the clipboard feature. So I'll delete this. Let's see what happens if I click on copy table and then go into my Excel and paste. There we go. Beautiful. So pretty much everything is working with the exception of being able to resize the columns. I'm going to give this resizing thing one more shot, and then we'll kind of end the video. Otherwise, we'll be here building versions forever. We'll be in version 100 at that point. So let's do one more thing. The column resizer is not working, comma. The icon changes to make it look like you can resize, but it's just not working. Another thing, I want the spacing between the columns to be a little bit less, or maybe just give me an option where I can change the spacing of the table so it could be a little tighter. I just want to be able to see more data in a single page without scrolling. So maybe give me two modes, the current mode and one where I can make the lines a little tighter together, and again make sure that the column resizer works. Okay, perfect. Now I want to iterate that most of the instructions I'm giving it on plain English, talking to a microphone. It wasn't like me knowing exactly what to say. Like, of course, in some cases, knowing the terminology and giving us some guidance will help. But I just want to point out that like it's just a regular guy building an app. So, all right. So I'll fast forward to the end here, and that will be the last version of this app that we'll test. And this is this last one, assuming it works. Crossing my fingers. I'll give you the link to this one so you can test it on your own. Okay, there we go. That one took maybe 3 minutes or less. Here's the kind of a summary of everything that it did. It's down to version 27. It's pretty amazing. I'm not sure how many iterations. I think it's like the fourth or fifth time that it's from instructions, my version, but it's in Claude's view is version 27. So I'm gonna click on publish, copy the link, open up a new browser, paste that in there, bring the bank statement over, extract data, and we'll wait for that extraction. There we go. So same thing. So I got view. Okay, so let's see. We got normal view, and then we have compact view. Okay, see, that's cool. I like that. Does the resizing work? No, that moves it. Oh, kind of did something. Oh, that's just moving the columns around. I think the fact that you move the columns around is kind of messing the resizing. So I think I'm gonna give up on the resizing. I think that's good enough. That's fine. But like I really like this normal and compact view, right? So it kind of lets me do that. I could also zoom in and out in my browser, and then maybe play with the settings a little bit. But what I encourage you to do is I want you to test this. Okay, I want you to play with this, or not just with my. So first of all, I want you to play with this app. I'm gonna put this link in the description. I'm hoping that the link works forever, but I don't know. I don't know how long until this link is alive. This is again that preview, that public version of the app. I want you to test it. I don't have access to any of the data. Like this app is just a front. Like there's no database. Once I hit refresh, I lose this, right? So it's just like sort of a one-time use thing. So anything you load in there, I don't have access to. So rest assured that I can't see any of the data. I can't even troubleshoot if something goes wrong in your side. You would have to kind of do this on your own and kind of troubleshoot it. But the cool thing is here, you can click here, it says customize, and if you click on customize, you can kind of sort of pick up where I left off and add more stuff to it. It's actually pretty cool. So if you could do something like that, that would be great. And I'm hoping that works as smooth as they advertise. But at least try it. Upload some statements, credit cards and banks. And I haven't tested credit cards. I haven't tested investment statements. Of course, the software development process would require me to test all different types of banks, and wherever it breaks, I would have to go back into Claude and say, hey, this type of bank broke and these transactions were missing. And it's going to take a lot more than the time that I took to develop this to have an actual commercial app. But I think that this is good enough for everybody watching this video to start testing. So I would love to see, seeing your comments, what you thought. Did it work? Did it not work? Did it break? Or email me and show me versions of what you've done, whether it's this or something similar. I'm very excited. I'm particularly very excited to see the accounting community, my YouTube community, start looking at AI tools and build stuff. I'm really excited to see that non-developers build stuff. I'm looking forward to see what you come up with. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you on the next one.